Hey guys, welcome back to part two of our enemy designer series. Um, this time we're going to be looking at how to get our character to die when he touches one of these enemies. So let's get into that right now. This is actually a very short tutorial, and the code for this is very simple. So before we get into the coding, we will want to set up under the properties of our characters, we actually want to set up a grouping that these are enemies. And so I'm going to edit the groupings, and I'm going to create, I don't have it here right now, but I'm going to create a new one. And the groupings that we're setting up right now is sort of an overarching set of rules that everything in Stencyl needs to follow. And if it doesn't, if it's not set up properly in the rules section here, then no matter what code you write, it will not work properly. So I'm going to create a special grouping for enemies. And so I'm going to tell the game that enemies can collide with players, which is the main character or the player. Okay. So after that's created, you'll want to set all of your enemy actors, all their properties to enemies. Okay, so once that's set up, both my enemy peon 1 and 2 are enemies. And you'll want to go back into your coding section. And so I'm going to do enemy peon number 2, actually, because he's closer. And so we're going to do a collision event. And over here, we're going to say when this actor collides with a member of a group. Okay, and you'll remember that we just created a group for enemies, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to say when he collides with a player, right? Because I am an enemy, and when I collide with a player, and I'm just going to say kill player on touch. And what we're going to do is we're going to say we're going to kill the last collided actor. Okay, so you can actually do this here in the enemy peon, and let's just try this out. Okay, you can also code this in the character, but since we're here, let's just try this out first. Okay, and let's just see here. Run over here. Oh, he's fallen off. Okay, so that's something interesting. Is you might not have noticed, but those enemy characters actually fell off the screen, and that's because they weren't sitting on any tiles. And that's my fault because I had forgotten to say enemies can stand on tiles. Okay, so now they can stand on tiles. Let's try that out one more time. And I think I might just turn off the rotation for my character because that's, although it's amusing, it's getting a little bit annoying. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to try to touch him. I cannot touch him. I can't touch him either. Okay. All right. Let's check. Is this player? Oh, this player is a new player. This player, my main player, Ultra Mega Man, is an actor, and so he should have been a player. Okay. So you'll recall that enemies can only collide with players and tiles, not actors. And so before, Ultra Mega Man was an actor, and that's why he wasn't touching the enemies properly. So you can see there that no matter what you do with the code, if the groupings aren't set up properly, no matter how amazing your code is, it won't actually work. Okay, so he did actually die. Let's see if he shouldn't die in the. Ooh, that's very interesting. Okay, I'm pretty bad at this, so maybe I'll do a double jump. Ooh, okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm touching the other enemy peon, and he's not dying. And that's because I haven't set that up just yet. Okay, and if I touch this one, I die. Okay, so obviously you can set that up in each and every enemy peon, but that's quite a bit of work, especially if you have like 10 enemies. So the other way to do this is to say, over here, I'm going to add the same event. It's going to be a collision event with a member of a group. When self touches a group of, and so I'm the player, I'm Mega Man, Ultra Mega Man. So when I touch an enemy, I kill, I die myself. Okay, so kill self on touching enemy. Okay, so I'm going to test that. So we actually have two pieces of code that kills our character. So let's see what happens. And so you can choose to, obviously these are two different ways of doing it. The second method is probably the better one. So I'm going to try to touch the second enemy. And so he's dying. That's good. It's normal. And let's just also try to touch the first one as well. And so he's dead. Okay. So this code alone actually works. It kills the player no matter which enemy he touches. Right. We'll conclude this here, and I will follow up maybe with another tutorial about how we can subtract health instead of killing the character right away.